Right. Thanks for joining me. Today I have some older replays because I had this stocked up from before I had to go on a couple of business trips. So these are older games. Thankfully, when I got back to Seoul today, I had something to cast because I have missed the last two Legacy nights traveling, and I think I missed some weekend events, and I think that everybody has forgotten that I play this game. So next week I'm just going to bring some crazy jank, and if I lose really badly, I will post it. And if I narrowly win, I will post it. And if I win in an amazing fashion because Vile Smasher the Fierce is an insane card, then I will definitely post that. So it looks like Cheol on the right here has taken a mulligan, and I on the left have taken a mulligan as well. And we're going to start pretty slowly. Because he has no indication of what I'm on, and I don't have a turn one hand. So I think if there's no immediate pressure and it's game one on blue-black Reanimator especially, maybe not with like a mono-black Reanimator or with black-red, you can start out a lot slower. And I don't have to go for anything here because I can sculpt a better hand, and he hasn't, presented me anything that that I'm really afraid of. He also did not start with a second black land, so I'm not really scared of a turn 3 Liliana. Either that or I have a Forceful. It looks like I do have Entomb, Careful Study, and an Exhume. So I have a hand with everything that I need, but we'll just brainstorm here, see what we get. And without getting chaliced, I feel like I was given a little bit of extra time. A lot of times in this matchup, the Loam player will just slam a turn 1 or a turn 2 chalice and get it going. Which is, I mean, if it resolves, it's hard for a Reanimator deck to beat. So I flashed a Force to the camera here. And I feel pretty comfortable because he did not land a turn 1 or a turn 2 creature or, well, really anything.
Team for what format? Oh my gosh. For everything? Everything. Yeah. No one else? Cool.
So I did not go for an end of turn Entomb. Not sure, maybe I didn't have it. Maybe I am still looking for something. Nothing much has happened during the game, so we're not in too big of a rush.
I'm sorry. No problem. I'll ask later. Ponder. Okay.
I see a Petal and a maybe Petal Daze. And with a Force already in hand, probably just looking for some action here. Looks like a Shuffle. So I believe this game was already just 3 weeks ago. Or, maybe I decided to cast one of our tournaments, and this is like even older. I don't know. I have a hard drive with some games on it. Thoughtseize is going to resolve and I guess reveal, what is that, Punishing Fire, Life from the Loam, a Grove, a Fetch, and a Sylvan Library. And Reanimator does not care about any of these cards, so I guess we just take Sylvan Library and...
I'm sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I remember now. Cheol's reaction there where I had played the game super slowly, and then threw out a pedal here, and he realizes that I was not playing like my normal style is check pile,
Yeah.
some kind of 4-color deck with Leovold, and Lotus Petal does not fit into any of those except Reanimator, and he's a little sketched out now. So this is, yeah, that's what I thought. This is 4-color, because he still wants Knight of the Reliquary. I don't think that he actually has swords. I think that it's a very light white splash, but we still want access to Knight of the Reliquary for Wasteland, Caracas, all sorts of good stuff like that, including Maze. All cards that I really cannot stand seeing. And then the red splash for Punishing Fire, which in this matchup is just exceedingly poor. And this die roll is unrelated to our game. This is a lucky prize.
Turn.
Slam down an Exhume. And surprise, surprise, the opponent does not have a target to put in. I don't see a reason not to draw immediately. So we'll go up to probably 10 cards in hand, make a land drop for the turn, drop any petals that we had, maybe play another cantrip, just to get through some more cards and then pass it over. And we can get down to a pretty low life total here without really worrying. There's no way that he could chain together enough Punishing Fires to actually make this scary, and he's not going to play any bolts. So we've got a force in hand and another draw possible. So I think that this game is all but over.
Grave Titan and Misty.
And if we just pass here, then we give the opponent the opportunity to get like Caracas and a Lily or something. Something pretty good here. We flip Lily,
Wow.
which is a spell and is hard to resolve in the face of a Grizzlebrand.
Main deck one Caracas.
And he slow rolls himself. And he'll pack it in here. So I believe if Cheol had kept a hand, if he had, first off, if he had kept 7, then maybe he would start off with like a Chalice, maybe Mox Diamond into Dark Confidant turn 1, and then like put together a really fast Liliana. That sort of thing is definitely doable. Game 2 and 3, I fully expect ley lines, so I'm mostly on the show and tell plan. But sometimes you can hardcast a Grave Titan. Sometimes you can Echoing Truth a leyline and then Entomb right after. But fighting through tons of graveyard hate is really, really difficult. I'd prefer to just like get some counter magic for the cards that really matter and then try to find a show and tell. We're also definitely not showing in a legendary creature first. The threat of Maze is just too real. So there's a turn 0 leyline, sort of expected. I mean, this player always has him, and he pretty much always mulls towards him. Man, a turn 2 library that just immediately resolves is quite good for the lone player. Like, when you're not playing Brainstorm, library is just the place to be when you want to look at a bunch of cards. Um, and I wouldn't be at all shocked to see him just immediately draw 2 extra cards off of it. Over the course of a game, especially when you're playing against a combo player, a lot of the time they just will not really pressure your life total until it's all over. So some these like first 10 life points are sort of free. But there's a lot of air left in his deck. Like, I don't care about the Punishing Fire engine. I don't really care about anything except for Knight and Chalices and Liliana's. And then besides that, it's sort of just, Dark Confidant for extra cards. So I do care about that. Here comes a Lily playing around days with the diamond. And I guess we will begin discarding here. And he tosses a land. I toss a Collective Brutality. And that's some awkward mana, actually, because those are the 2 splashed green lands in the entire deck, and I already have them. Sort of a minor thing, but I mean, they're exposed to Wasteland, and they don't give me my optimal colors. But they do allow me to cast sideboard Abrupt Decays. I see Show and Tell in hand. Maybe I'm just looking for a creature. And yeah, and Deathrite, I mean, if he already has a Leyline out, we're definitely never going to fight over a Deathrite. That doesn't matter. And I think along the same point where we've already got a Trop and a Bayou and that first C exposed, there's no reason to start grabbing basics ever now. I mean, we're already as exposed to Wasteland as we're going to get, so just continue pumping duels out, and you likely won't be able to get rid of them all. But this seems like it's time for Show and Tell. And we will cast a spell. It doesn't look like I have any petals, but things like Force of will allow a free bounce, turning Entomb back on for a turn, that sort of thing. It's also quite real to just be able to Tidespout beats for the win because he's a 5/5. He does fly. He's a respectable clock, and he deals with a lot of the problematic permanents that could ever come out. I mean, that's his entire job. He does it quite well. So 2 damage, make you discard, bounce your Leyline. Wait, no, that doesn't the because look at the discard isn't any card. It's just like look for sorcery. Okay, then I resolved it right. Sorry, I got confused for a second. Beats for 5. And we have a force in hand, but I can't see caring about this. And he didn't get the ley line back out, so Entomb is turned on, and he knows that he won't be able to beat that. So that's a quick 2-0 for Reanimator.